Hey guys, we're going to get into this meaty footage which is all about the art of instant dating. For me, instant dating is what sort of solidifies everything. I've got Tom here tagging along again. Mate. Hello mate, you alright?
I'm going to grill you like Richard and Julie.
Oh yeah?
Because I've heard not only is this an instant date, but she's very hot, she's Russian.
She's hot, yeah, and she's just like, I think, you know, you've obviously experienced enough instant dates now to know how effective they are.
It keeps the bubble going.
It's so great.
And completely solidifies the comfort part of it.
Yeah.
So if you kind of make any little errors in attraction, you can, once you're having coffee with her, you know that you've got that length of the coffee.
Yeah, and it's not even just about that, it's more the fact that the symbolic idea that you've been to coffee together already.
Yeah, you're in a phone book as not just a random guy.
Yeah, you're completely different now. You're someone who she sat down for coffee with and hopefully has had a nice time.
And in London that's so rare, you know, with a new person.
It's ridiculous. So it sets you right apart. When you then text her consequentially after that, you're completely different. The image is not of a guy who just approached her and who had a bit of a good connection with her. This is a solid guy now who she wants to meet again. So yeah, you don't have to, and also you don't have to faff around with text game too much. The more solid the interaction.
Well, just one more thing. If you've seen the free Yad infield analysis, you'll remember that when he was talking to, I think she was Latvian.
Yeah.
That this girl walks past and Yad's cheeky eyes follow her.
Yeah.
So literally after that, Martin and Yad ran and tried to find this girl, and here she is, they caught up with her.
Is that her? Yes. Beautiful. Sorry, excuse me, can I tell you something very quickly? Now again, I have to say I've not done the Yad stop properly as I would like to, as I advocate, but it plays to my advantage again because we can tell she's ambling around, and you'll see consequentially from her attitude that she is in that ambling around mood. So again, it comes back to a bit of social intelligence.
Matching her.
But I think for guys who are just starting out, I think we should be careful, Tom, because for me and you, after, you know, having done this for quite a bit of time, it becomes, these things just become de rigueur, don't they? They just become part of the furniture.
You
we know what
she's going to stop, so she stops.
Yeah.
But if you're not confident, she's going to stop. Go straight in front, do the complete Yad stop.
You've got to actually put in the work for that first bit of 30 seconds, which is so crucial that you follow through with the Yad stop properly. And as I said, here this is down to experience. This is down to the, you know, hours upon hours of me being out and knowing exactly what sort of moods girls are in, you know, just by the way they're walking pretty much.
Nice positive vibe though, good smile.
Yeah.
Some guys forget that, way too serious at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. So, and she giggles straight away, so that washes over her straight away. Okay, I literally just saw you and I had to run over and say hello.
Okay.
I just thought you look really glamorous, like really nice, fashionable.
Yeah, I'm studying fashion.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
So but that's not always the case.
Really?
Like, I know.
So, it sounds like a little bit of a high investment compliment.
Yeah.
But that is because she stood out. She literally did catch your eye, didn't she?
Yeah, she genuinely has made a ridiculous effort.
In London, that is way above average.
Yeah, so it's not like if I went up to her and she was wearing like Converses and like ripped jeans and stuff, and I went, oh my God, I just love your fashion, you're just looking absolutely amazing. She'd be like, what? Get away from me.
She knows.
Yeah.
But then you notice and you balance it quite quickly with a challenge. Like, really? Does everybody in studying fashion look so good?
Yeah, well, that is kind of a true statement, because people who actually are behind the models, they're not often the most fashionable people. They're the ones who are just like, oh, I'm the brains behind all this. I'm meant to make people look fashionable. So it's a bit of good knowledge
Bit of
again.
knowledge.
Yeah, to drop in. A lot of girls who study fashion, but it's not. They don't look fashionable. They're just like. It's almost like
They just started it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So what inspired you to look different like this?
I don't know, I just, now I'm going to shop.
Oh, okay.
I'm going shopping and I don't know why, I have a good mood this morning.
Okay, so it depends on your mood as well.
Yes, of course, yeah. I can wear Ugg and jeans and that's all.
So on a different day, you'd have your
Yeah, like this.
big trousers.
No, not like this.
So yeah, I've realised that it's just a bit too nicey, bit too complimentary, and this is the point where it's great for a bit of teasing. She's gone, no, it's just today, so she's dissing herself. Again, it goes back to what the other girl was doing as well. She's dissing herself a little bit, and as I said, when girls are dissing themselves, don't help them out firstly. Have a bit of a, okay, cool, that's not my problem. You've got a low opinion of yourself. I'm not going to help you out there.
Yeah,
that's your own issues. Yeah. Secondly, it's a nice point to perhaps do a bit of teasing. Nothing too crazy, but I'm just teasing her about what she might look like had she not had a very fashionable sort of wake-up call in the morning, which
and
is what she's saying.
you always tease with a giggle and a smile.
Yeah.
Like when you say to some guys, tease, if you tease with a straight face, it just comes across like, but why
Well, you know what, it's not even so much a straight face. It's more the fact that, I mean, sometimes teasing with a straight face is exactly the way forward, because you don't want to make a joke and be all smiley and...
But that's kind of advanced irony, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the kind of aggressive teasing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is what I mean. Everything before the hello is so much more game.
Yeah, it's who you are.
It's who I am at that moment. I am genuinely feeling like if I'd met Tom or if I'd met Martin, our beautiful cameraman, and he was looking a bit slack for whatever reason that day, I'd pick up on it and I'd have a bit of a tease with him.
Yeah.
But similarly, if I was not in that mood and Martin was exactly the same person as I'd met that day, I wouldn't feel like making being in that mood, because essentially I'm not in that mood. Yeah,
and
exactly.
she feels, okay, he's made a tease, but it's a warm, a warm guy. He's not being arrogant. So it's a very fine line.
Yeah, I think it's to do with warming up, and we can't stress this enough. Before you approach, you've got to take the time out to warm up.
Watch
Opinion
the ad
openers, watch the ad show, but. You'll see the sort of stuff I do in there, but some of the stuff I might not do in there is like opening girls up in shops and shop floor girls, and actually asking their opinions on anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I hark back to the days when I first started. That's what I did. That's exactly the sort of vibe I came from. I was so shackled by nerves that the only way to sort of become slightly more social was to talk to anyone about anything.
It's what we call state shifting, So going from one place to another.
Exactly.
And she feels it.
Yeah.
That's my style.
And where's your accent from?
Russia.
Really?
Really?
I would have never guessed you're from Russia. So again, I think this, in the freebie clip we touch on this extensively, but just quickly, it's about the fact that I'm feigning a bit of ignorance here, and it's the right place to feign a bit of ignorance. And there's the wrong place to feign ignorance as well. So say if you've been to the south of France and you meet a girl from Paris. Now, you don't want to be going, oh, no, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about the fact that I've not been to it, because there's a different image between knowing about Eastern Europe and knowing about rich places in Western Europe, right? And especially if you've been there, especially if it's bloody genuine, speak about it. So, for example, if so I meet an actress, I would tell her about the time I did a bit of stand-up comedy in the Edinburgh festivals. That's completely cool. And she's like, oh, I'm going to Edinburgh. I'm not going to feign ignorance about that. That's just such a cool thing to actually know about. It's cultural, it's beautiful, but
it's instant connection on that level. But this is like it's a problem particular to people that do a lot of day game. Yeah. Because Yad knows a hell of a lot about Russia. Yeah. So if you did it now, number one, like, why does this guy know so much about Moscow and Russia? Yeah. And number two, if Yad now talks for 5 minutes about Russia, she's not really going to do anything. So you do reveal it later on, I think. Yeah. But for now, It's okay just to be like...
And also, like you said, early on, what happens is, knowing about Russia isn't high value.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in Russians' eyes, you know, because it's you know, I've been to Moscow and it's a great place, historic, lovely place, but a lot of the girls want to escape that lifestyle. It's a very sort of limited lifestyle they have there in terms of job opportunities and stuff like that. So
it's weird for her then, yeah. If you know too much.
Exactly.
See what she says.
Where I am from?
I don't know. I think in England we have this image of Russia.
Yes,
I would have, you know.
Image.
Yeah, we have a bad image. Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah.
But that's because most of the Russian girls who come here, they don't dress classy like you.
Really?
Yeah, they dress like, I don't know, a bit.
So what are you doing?
I work around here. I work in film. Like, you know, poker player? I do poker player, and I have a media company.
Okay.
But I went to Moscow recently because I was working with a film production company in Moscow. So, you see now, I bring up the fact that I've been to Moscow, but in a very cool...
Rooted sense, yeah.
Yeah, in a thing that's rooted in a genuinely cool... And I genuinely did do a bit of filming there.
Yeah.
You know, that's not... I have to say, I was finishing up a product there, and we had to go and film it in Russia. It was impossible to film it anywhere else just because of both of our schedules. The guy I was filming with he was stuck in Moscow, so I had to go to Moscow and finish it off there.
And again, it's a particular scenario for you. You can't say I'm a dating coach, so
exactly. That's
you
that
have
again.
To kind of go around the topic.
Yeah, and I have to explain my lifestyle about the fact that, you know, because I say poker player because it's very similar to the lifestyle of a PUA.
Flexible. You're out in the daytime.
Exactly. You can't be out 3 p.m. on Oxford Street because you could play anytime you like online.
And you can be free later that day.
Exactly. So it's that kind of, you know, I've got to place these little white lies as to why I've gone to Moscow, as to why, but they're not essential lies really. They're just like, I sugarcoat it with something that doesn't frighten her off. Now, I would say if you're an accountant, I wouldn't necessarily change my job title. I would still go with the fact that I do a bit of accounting, but I'd just brush over it. I wouldn't get too into it. But here, it just happens to be a nice bit of DHV, the fact that I've gone to Moscow and I've done a bit of filming. And I love Moscow.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to visit St. Petersburg. It's much more beautiful.
Everyone says that.
Yeah. St. Petersburg is one of the best cities in the world, really. But it's very cold right now there.
So you mean for like architecture and...
Architecture is amazing. Everything is amazing. It used to be the capital of Russia for a long time, and it's one of the most beautiful cities, really.
Well, it's very historic.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a good point to sort of bring up here, the fact that with Eastern European women, much like, you know, when you talk about sexuality, Eastern European women know the fact that Western men think of them in a certain way, right? And it's not always a positive image. Now, when you sort of like, you've got to very quickly depart from that crowd.
The norm,
the normal image of a... you know, the West's image of Russia, basically.
But you're showing social intelligence, aren't you, by saying most people think this, but they're not including yourself in that. Yeah,
exactly. That as well, but, you know, touching on stuff like architecture and the history of St. Petersburg, or this history of Mother Russia as an entity, you know, touching on those things just sets you wildly apart.
Immediately sets you apart from like stag do's in Moscow.
Exactly.
A lot of palaces and I don't know, Gauguin, Van Gogh in Hermitage Museum, and lots of famous paintings are there. So.
And lots of Germanic influence. I heard, you know, the Gothic style.
Yes.
I love
lots of tourists from Europe, a lot.
Of course, I mean, I think Moscow was a bit of a letdown in terms of all the Soviet buildings. They're very ugly.
Yeah, they're not so beautiful. So how did you find Moscow?
I love the vibe, man. The people were so nice. We were four English. Yeah, we were four. Okay.
You were lucky.
You think so?
I think so.
Maybe we knew. The thing was, we knew, like my friend Vladimir. He knows everyone in Moscow. He's so connected, you know. So when we went to a club, everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, you know Vladimir. You're with Vladimir." And it was like, if you knew Vladimir, you were cool, you know.
Yeah. So that's the only reason.
I have to say, this is completely true. We had awesome connection connections in Moscow, and if it weren't for those guys, I think it would have been a completely different attitude and different place. Hence, I probably wouldn't have even brought it up. Yeah. You know, the fact that we didn't have a good time, but the fact is we had an amazing time, and you know, it's always a good thing to bring up if you have had a good time.
And then you know local people, that makes it feel easy. You know,
exactly.
English blokes in Moscow.
Exactly.
What are they doing?
And I've gone there to collaborate on a filming project, which you know, the whole thing becomes a very cultural event.
Yeah, and you have to be careful that, especially with Eastern Europeans, as you say.
Exactly.
If I say I've been to Latvia many times to Riga, they're thinking, why has he been to Latvia?
Yeah.
There has to be this. It's specific for these kind of girls. There has to be an explanation. If she's French or Italian, it's fine to say.
If you crucial difference, you say to a girl from Paris that you go to Paris every weekend to have a blast at the clubs there, she'll look at you like, oh wow, who's this magical guy? You know, because the image of the clubbing scene in Paris is one of equality and elegance, and so you see how all these symbolisms are attached to different places. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was so pleasant with the strangers, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
How would they be usually? Very like stern?
Oh, if you don't have Rolex and Zilly suits, go on, come.
You're not worthy of our air.
Yeah, you can breathe here.
Hey, well, I got. So at this point, obviously, it's just like she's a bit of an easy catch. We should point this out. This isn't, as much as I'd love every girl to be this giggly and open and feeling so good on the day I'd meet them, it's not always like this.
I think it's a great advert for day game, you know?
Yeah.
Look at what you can get. Look at what's walking around central London.
Well, what's funny is when they've made that much effort, obviously they feel good, like that day.
Very feminine.
Yeah.
Look at how she's standing.
And I think, you know, we've learned one thing in day game is the hotter they are, the friendlier they are. Not easier to get with.
No, but
more open to the idea of day game. Just because it's, they actually find it, really hot girls actually find it almost impossible to be treated normally especially by blokes that come into their life that not through social circle stuff.
And they spend their day having guys look at them. Loads of guys will look at her and she'll know that they're looking at her, but very few. So the more daunting she is, we find the better she takes the compliment.
Yeah.
And look at how she's behaving right now. It's like putty, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And
so you sense this now, I think, somewhere near here. Normally would spend a bit longer in kind of attraction, but this is pretty clear to us what's going on. So.
And also we're having a giggle together as well about the sham that is Moscow clubs. And
so not a number close, going to ask her for coffee. It's an instant date.
Especially we went to some clubs like Imperia. Have you heard of Imperia?
I know.
And it's
Soho?
Everyone is like but for me it was interesting to see that, because in London I go to the sort of clubs where it's a little bit about that, but it's not so overtly like that, you know?
It's very different actually,
you know, you say it's very different, but it's not too different.
Maybe I just don't know people like I know people in England and London like I know them in Russia, so if I saw the girl, I can tell in 5 minutes I will know everything about her. And in England, if I saw the girl, I can't even tell what country.
What's great here is because I've got all this energy that I'm plowing into the set, and like we said, you know, we go through waves of high energy and low energy. But you know, I've matched her vibe there. She, you know, if you go back to the beginning, she said, I was just having a summery day, I felt like dressing up. So I've got to match that beautiful energy she's got. I can't be like, oh cool, okay. You know, she's in that mood, I can't not be in that mood, do you know what I mean? So you've got to be socially intelligent, and you know, her enthusiasm has to be kept up. And
but you're not going overboard, because you could easily become really giggly and start making lots of jokes.
I'm talking in terms of like voice tonality, in terms of the way I'm expressive, I'm gesticulating.
Because to challenge her really hard now, it's pointless, because the attraction's almost done, you could say, you know what I mean?
And look what's happening now. She's coming back at me with an even more enthusiastic way of expressing herself, and so it's just like you said, putty in my hands. Well, listen.
So you should go.
I'm scared you'll hit by a bus. Do you have 10 minutes for a coffee? I was going to quickly grab a coffee.
Okay, where?
I have to go back to work soon.
Okay, where?
Just literally, there's a Starbucks just there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it'll take you a bit of time to work out the London sense of fashion. I think one really important thing here is when you start walking with her, it's important to keep that vibe up. You know?
This is the time when she's going to feel slightly strange because she's clocked that she's walking somewhere with a guy.
Yeah.
It's your job. Not just to lead, but to make her feel very comfortable. And this is when I do a bit of chit chat.
It's probably the worst thing you could do is, at this bit, be really silent and reserved and not
into chit chat. Distract her mind.
Yeah, people very strange sense of fashion and of clothing and choosing garments.
In what way strange? Why would you say strange?
Just because, I don't know, I can see people in, three polka dots with yellow and white and black striped trousers. So it's really weird and strange, but sometimes it looks very pretty. It's amazing.
But I think what's cool...
They're not afraid they're not afraid just of everybody or who what will say.
Careful.
Sorry.
Our pavements are not designed for...
Yes. I told you it was very good morning and I have very good mood now.
Yeah. Again, she puts herself down. I don't come back and help her in any way. I just let it go. And the thing is about these instant dates, it's really irrelevant where you take them. It's completely irrelevant. I think a greasy spoon would do, like somewhere as nameless and shameless as Starbucks is perfectly perfect, actually perfect, because the last thing you want to do is go, no, not Starbucks.
I know a really nice place.
I know the best in town. Let me take you there because you're the special lady that I've just met and I do this every day.
The implication is I was just going there anyway.
Yeah.
So if you join me, it's going to be interesting, but if you don't join me, it doesn't really affect my day.
Again, what's so cool is, here's a coffee shop, let's go in there. Yeah. It's that kind of, I'm completely treating you like someone I've just bumped into, I've known, just like a mate, whatever,
Actually, one thing I like in Moscow, that Starbucks is much better than here.
Oh, this one's good. I think you'll be impressed, yeah. Yeah, this one's not bad.
Really begin to bring that Russian tradition. I don't know how to say it another way. So begin to bring it to London. So I don't like it.
I did feel that especially in Moscow.
So half of my city, half of the girls, they dream about moving to Moscow. So I escaped to London.
Good. So what they dream about, like getting with like a rich man.
Yeah, married and yachts, cars, boobs.
What, surgery?
Yeah.
Each to their own.
Yeah, they.
So yeah, just a few words about the art of instant dating is when you're going to order the coffee and stuff like that, just like normal chit chat, bits of silences as well. These are golden silences, by the way, now when you're at the counter, just ordering your coffee.
Let her feel excited.
Let her feel a bit like her, this is the moment where you're just like feeling a bit of sexuality, and she's in a nice environment now as well. She's in a social environment.
Familiar.
Completely. And she's done this over and over again with her best mates. This isn't new territory. It's just that when you have the chit chat with the walk over to the coffee shop, that's important because it's not familiar to her. Her mind might start ringing alarm bells if you're not careful. So once you're at the counter, one thing I wouldn't do as well, I think I used to do this in my old days when I wasn't as brushed up as I am now, I used to be a little bit too jokey with the people behind the counter because it all came from nervous excitement.
Yeah.
But normally I notice when I'm going order a coffee with a mate, I'm just a bit like, oh, all right, cheers. I might have a bit of a laugh, but it wouldn't be from nervous excitement. It'd be because I genuinely feel like making a comment. But more often than not, I don't make a comment. I don't flirt with the person behind the counter.
It's a bit try hard if this really was just, you know, the first time you've ever gone for a coffee with a girl. You don't need to show off that you've got these skills.
Exactly.
Because you've already taken her from the street.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, that's, you know, all that stuff, you know, save it for the warm-up part when you're having a bad day, when you're ordering your coffee and stuff.
Starbucks staff are amazing
to
flirt with.
Yeah, but when you're actually just in the midst of ordering that coffee, just that's the golden silence moments you want, you know, that's exactly, and it's just apt. Those silences are very apt.
So the vibe on an instant date is relaxed, it's chilled.
Completely. And if you notice how I'm sitting next to her, a lot of PUAs I think there's a lot of advice that goes against this.
It's nighttime advice about, they would say, you should sit next to her so you can start touching her. Otherwise she's going to think that this is a friend thing. But this is a special case scenario because we do day game. We're talking about dating a girl after this was 5 minutes. So if you had sat down next to her and started touching her, all that magic and that trust that he's just built up, she'd be like, what? Oh, it's this kind of guy. Oh, he's a sleazy guy. Okay. This is now in the day game blueprint. We call this pretty much authentic communication. Now, I don't know, but he might do a little bit more attraction because it's only 5 minutes in. But she needs to just chill. Like, this is the time to get to know her, isn't it?
Completely. This is the time where you can afford to have a bit of nice chilled out communication, just the same you would with a mate. She's done again time and time again with her friends, and this time to confide in each other, those sort of times, but nothing too deep, I would say, nothing crazy deep. You've always got to remember it's been 5 minutes into it, or 10 minutes perhaps. So
and Yad's going to keep it about her largely. That's the kind of rule, isn't it?
This is really important. 90% is about, I'm not talking whether you're talking or she's talking, that's irrelevant, it's what the topics centre around, and I would say it's her ego. So the topics are always centering around her ego, whether it's her city, her dreams, what her motivations in life,
her past, her backgrounds.
Exactly.
So let's have a look.
Here, I don't know, most of people, not everybody, but
there still is. There is.
There still is, like, it's a percent, small percent of this.
Yeah, not just that, it's a marginalised percentage. It's like the mainstream looks down on that percentage. You know what I mean? It doesn't give oxygen to that percentage. Whereas in Russia, the oxygen is that. You know, and if you're not like that, you're weird, almost. You know, you must be like the weird one who wants to achieve
everybody
things.
Everybody hates me. Everybody still hates me.
So this is a great bit of authentic communication. I realise I've got to connect with her a little bit, but also I think I realise I've got to, you know, sort of display a bit of knowledge as well. It goes back to the attraction bit. Because
it's almost too early to just listen.
Yes, way too early. Now at this point she's been very expressive. She's talking about big boobs, she's talking about ambitions, blah blah blah, real big life topics, and I'll just let her do it. I don't fall for the trap of like, oh right, have you ever considered plastic surgery? Have you? You know, I'm just like, oh cool, okay, you know, each to their own.
It's the same thing you do. Let's say she was being bitchy. You just kind of let them get it all out of their system. You can see she's just got all these things to say. And you're better off just going, okay, okay, let her finish, let her get it all out.
I moved here and they still hate me.
How are your parents with it then?
Oh, they really love it because now situation politics is not so good actually.
I heard about it.
I have a little sister. She's 6 and she's thinking. They are thinking about her further education, maybe in Switzerland or.
Of course,
it's much better than studying in Russia. Much more better. So
sad. But Russia used to be such a, I don't know, like a world leader in literature and.
Yes, it's lots of. I don't know how to say Nobel people. Yes, they're educated.
For example, the guys I work with. He's a very beautiful man. You know, he hates all that. For a joke, he wears a Casio watch.
Yes.
Like for a joke.
Lots of people. I have my parents' friend, he owns a huge company which is making vodka right now. It's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, right, I just want to quickly touch upon the fact that in this set, I'm not teasing as much, and partly that's down to the reason every now and again in day game you get rewarded with a beautiful girl who's completely into what you're doing, and that's that. As I said, I'm very warmed up. This is straight after the freebie clip, by the way, as we pointed out earlier.
Latvian,
yeah. So I'm very warmed up. I'm very easygoing, and you know, you get rewarded for being so warmed up sometimes, and so a lot of the work just transpires by itself, you know, through the vibe and stuff. It's hard to explain.
And she just gets it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what some men will never understand.
Yeah.
A woman of that beauty, if you do it in the right way and you have the right vibe, attraction's almost just assumed.
It's,
amazing. Imagine her in a nightclub. That's what I'm saying. Have a go at approaching her in a nightclub, you know.
No.
You're not going to sit down like
it's almost like it's by the by. You know, it's just completely like we both know what's going on, and it's in the eyes and it's in the body language. We're both having coffee with each other now, like old mates, and we're sort of like connecting. We're connecting on something very, I think, deep. The fact that we're sort of talking about other groups of people, and we're analysing other people.
Like you
we against the world,
and then you against the world. It's a lovely little projection thing to do.
I think there's not a better way to build rapport than us against the world sort of thing. Yeah, it's almost like we're the couple looking onto this world of ours.
Because everybody's drinking, and it's a very popular brand in Russia.
If you can have one business that it's always predicted to do well in Russia, I think. He fond of a toy watch. So I saw this on his head, and I bought the same one for me. That's cool. 150 pounds. I know it's very cheap, but they're very beautiful. You can swim with it. You can push and throw. I don't know. You can do anything with them. So sometimes it's happened, but most of people, I don't like it. Here, every girl have her own way. Not every. Lots of girls have their own way. They dreaming of different things. They have their ambitions, and I don't know. They find their own way to be happy. So in Russia, there's only one way to be happy. I don't like it. It is sad.
Yeah, so.
But you know, I also met lots of cool girls that were like you, that were like you, very against it. You know?
I have no doubts.
And this is great. This is a bit of a good challenge. I pick my battles, as it were.
Definitely.
You know, you've got to know where to challenge. The fact is, she's dissing everyone in Russia, and I don't think that's cool. Firstly, and secondly, there's a lot of girls out there like her. So I'm saying, there's plenty of where you came from. Don't feel so.
Yeah, you're not
just
Mother Russia.
Knocking her down on a pedestal a little bit.
Yeah, it's really like this, but.
Yeah, but they were like, it was so silly because they were working for 1 hour for pretty much nothing, for peanuts, you know. And but there is so much money in that city, and because they were being honest, they were being like treated really badly.
Yeah.
You know. But there you go. That's the nature of a country like Russia.
Yeah, I know.
So what are your ambitions now then in London? What's your?
I wanna study in St. Martin's.
The best, right? The best.
Yes, one of the best in the whole world.
Well, I think maybe top 3, you know?
Top 2.
Yeah.
New York and St. Martin. I don't know, New York College of Fashion or something. I don't remember actually. And St. Martin's, they're one of the best. Really. And,
but you know, London College of Fashion isn't bad as well.
It's different. They prepare people to work in industry. So St. Martin's prepare people to be just crazy artists who do whatever they want, and they don't bother with rules or anything. So they change your mind. Actually, in St. Martin's, they change your mind. In College of Fashion, they do really good people who know their profession, who they have a strict, direct way.
Right.
So, and in St. Martin's, you have different ways. You have
they encourage creativity. A lot more.
It's creativity
That's very cool. That's very cool.
But my teacher said that best way to work, to live to earn money with fashion. It's New York, so I'm thinking about maybe I will visit it this.
Well, I just came back from New York. Last week I was in New York, and it felt like that for some reason. You know, in London everything's spread out. So you have the movie industry, you have the photography industry, you have the fashion industry. But I was staying in Soho, part of New York, and it felt like everything was just, no one cared about anything else apart from fashion, and all the best models in the world are walking around. So I actually saw some famous faces from the modeling world just walking around, you know. It feels more like the home of fashion.
Yeah, so I want to visit it, but actually since I was 6, I was dreaming about London. I was 10 when I read the book of Harry Potter. So my dream from this size began to this size.
Yeah.
So and I don't know, and then I don't know what stopped me, but I was afraid of moving, and now London is only a city in the world that I can live in. So I want to live in. No, I can live anywhere, but I want to live in London. I've never been in New York, but it's different actually. Here you have history. Here you have.
Oh yeah, for that.
New York is like moving, business, money, it's like rush. And here it's everything. You know, when
See, just want to mention here, my body language sort of goes into a mode of like, right, I'll cushion what you're going to say now. Let's just have you talk.
Something in the shop, they just take your credit card slowly, just swipe it or put a PIN code, just pack your things like this.
So ask yourself, you know, who's picking who up now? That's what I always say to students. Who's talking? And obviously, the more you watch this, it's her. And the ads almost now like, dialing all the energy down. Because you know what's going on now.
She's doing what I'm doing in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But for a much longer period.
Yeah. Amazing.
Rush.
Yeah.
So everybody's calm and I like it.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say New York is too different.
Really?
Yeah, it's not.
I must visit it.
Yeah, you will see. I mean, once you're there, it's different, you know. But I would say, so this is cool, you know, obviously I've been to New York on lots of day game adventures, so the fact that I can speak about it and
she needs
express
bringing
myself.
down a little bit, doesn't she?
Yeah, because she keeps harping on about all these like
stuff she knows.
Yeah, but she doesn't really. She's just an excited girl who's.
And you're like, now listen, okay, when you go to New York, this is what you're going to discover, and then knowledge.
But also, and also challenging knowledge as well. No, it's not quite like that. It's a bit like this, you know. But not getting het up about it either. I'm not going, no, you don't understand. You know, that would be really bad.
That's reactionary.
Yeah. Whenever you're challenging, I think that we should mention this common theme. Whenever you're expressing, it should always come from a place where you're being expressive rather than you're being reactionary.
It's so different.
Yeah.
And very hard to learn at the beginning.
Sometimes I didn't know the difference where I was. I was like, am I in London? Oh no, I'm in New York. Because it's just so similar. Even the district of Soho, they've got a district called Soho, which is very boutique based, like, and the shops are, the way the shops are laid out, because they've got more space than we do, it's unbelievable. I can imagine, like, it's a girl's dream, you know, some of those shops.
Yeah, I heard about this, so everybody said it. Everybody said that there is, here in London you have multi-brands. They, I don't know, top brands like Topshop, Dolce & Gabbana, Louis Vuitton. It's main brands in the whole world.
Yeah.
So in New York, I never been there, but I heard that. My teacher said that there is a lot of small shops of not well-known designers.
More exclusive, yeah.
It's more exclusive, so they like small shops. They do a small amount, but they still have their own money, so they're making money. And it's all of the shops are popular.
You know, I think I took a picture of one of the shops.
Yeah. So to begin with fashion, I'm not actually dreaming when I will be 60 that I have only one small shop. Of course, I'm dreaming about something bigger. Yeah. So, and if I do even 50% of my dream, this will be great actually. So, but to begin with, it's very good, I think.
No, it's on my proper camera. I took lots of pictures of like the cutest little shops, you know.
I have 4,000 pictures in my phone, so I understand you.
Great, 'cause as I said, this is a bit of you know, like I'm trying to actually like, you know, display a bit of like, oh look, I've actually got some, and I genuinely did. I walked past the shop in New York, and it must have been on my proper camera.
Yeah.
It was the way it was laid out. It was just unreal, and the way they'd made use of space for the.
Was it beautiful?
It was. I've never seen anything like it in London. I've never come across anything like that. So I did take a picture just because it got my attention, and I was just genuinely going to go check this out. But she just won't stop talking and trying to impress me.
It's necessary for you to be even more disinterested, like watching looking away now.
I'm like, what's the point? So I'm just impressed with the layout, you know, a bit of a bookshop vibe.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the free video we talked about Yad's use of fractionation? Because otherwise it's quite an intense bubble, and she's very intense.
Yeah.
So Yad's just like, no, I don't think.
I think it's the first time I've done it for my own comfort.
Yeah.
Because she's attacking me. Yeah.
So just to break it off a little bit, and then comment on something in the shop.
Yeah.
It's good.
Nice, Starbucks. And in England they are quite different because it can be very, very old Starbucks, one of the first I think. And in Russia, all of them, they are new, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but when you say very old, we're talking 10 years.
Yes,
yeah.
But if you have such lots of people who visit it every day, I don't know, thousands of people who visit it, so it's a traffic of people.
Right.
Yeah. So it's begin like trash in 2 years. I don't know if you will use this table for 2 years for 1,000 people, so it's begin back. It's awful. So nothing changed in this 10 years. If something will change, maybe they will be good. But nothing changes.
Well, have you been to Moscow?
Yes, of course.
You know, you have Tverskaya and then Commentaryík. I was living on Commentaryík, and it was my favorite street. Yeah, I think a lot of people like you go there because they get away from the trashy Moscow. It was more of an English street, you know?
Yeah. My favorite is near the Tsum, you know Tsum? Tsum. It's Wok Cafe there and Kuznetsky Most.
Near Pushkin restaurant?
Not far, but actually it's about 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
My favorite is Savoy.
Yeah.
It's a very small hotel, it's not very big, and there's a nice stuff there, and it's not so expensive like other 5-star hotel in the Moscow.
Well, when you say that.
No, actually it's you can pay from 8, it depends on the day and the season. You can pay from I don't know, 150 pounds per night.
Oh, that's not bad for Moscow.
For 5-star hotel.
Really?
150 maximum that you can pay in 300 pounds.
For Moscow?
For Moscow,
Central?
it's Savoy.
That's pretty good.
One of the best. It's like you have Savoy in London, but it's much expensive than in Moscow. But it's really good. It's small and not so famous. And mostly there is like European or American visitors there. So I like it. It's not so expensive.
I didn't know that.
So, if you book it on internet, it's very cheap actually.
Oh.
So if you came there, they said, "Oh, you must pay 500 pounds."
Yeah.
If you came like there.
I'd be like, hold on a minute.
So if you book it on internet, it's much cheaper, 5 times.
I know a friend from England who said very different.
Really?
I'll quote you. No, if I do go into the Savoy desperate one night, I'll just quote you. I'll just ring you straight away.
You can just put Savoy and Booking.com, and it shows you the prices actually like this.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, so you're just settling in at the moment. This is like the honeymoon period where you're just sort of having your...
I'm thinking about doing bachelor, but I'm not sure exactly, I'm not sure. I'm maybe 70% yes.
Right.
I don't know, I'm deciding still. It's very hard to move somewhere. Even if I don't like Russia, it's very hard to move because you have to change your mind, you have to change your vision of the world. And it's first 3 weeks. I have lessons with my teacher. He was spoken for 1.5 hours, and my brains began to explode because of English, because he was talking English and at the end I understood nothing. I could say even yes. So, oh my God, stop please. Now I get used to it, but my English is not really good.
I know, I think it's decent.
It's just like, okay, to communicate, but...
Very understandable though, and your accent's not harsh.
Yeah.
It's not like this.
No, most of Russians are more awful, actually.
Yeah.
And they really amused when you're from Russia. No!
Yeah, well, yeah.
Lots of girls said, no, with Russian accent, clear Russian accent. No.
No.
Of course no. Okay, goodbye.
So they're surprised that you're from Russia, because they don't. Oh.
Yeah.
How are you meeting Russian people in London? How are you coming across them?
Oh. Well, what do you mean?
Like how, like as in, how do you cross paths with Russian people in London?
I don't know, I have a few friends, but I prefer to be alone. I like to be alone.
Really?
Yeah, really. I was in Morocco last October, and 2 weeks I spent alone. I rent Alfa Romeo, and 2,000 kilometers. It's about, it's about 1,500 miles, or 1.2 or 1.5.
That's a lot of driving.
So all over Morocco, and I was very excited a lot. So I was alone. Sometimes it was really dangerous. Sometimes.
I can imagine if you go to the wrong area. And
a few times it was really dangerous.
Like what?
The rest of my holidays was really fun and very beautiful, and it's a very colorful country.
Is it a beautiful country?
Very beautiful, actually, but it depends. So everybody says that Bali is beautiful, Indonesia, Bali.
Yeah, Bali, yeah.
Everybody said this, whoa, it's one of the best places in the world. But when I've been there this summer, it's nice atmosphere. It's very different country. It's very nice people, really very nice. They're all very pleasant, and they are not angry. They are smiling all the time. But I can say it's beautiful. It's very great nature and air and ocean and everything. But it's not like paradise, like everybody said. It's not paradise. It's beautiful, but in different way. Actually.
Yeah, and it's too discovered, maybe.
Huh?
Too discovered.
Yes.
Like people.
I've been different. Oh my God. Iceland.
Iceland.
Islands.
Island.
Yeah.
The country.
No, I mean.
As in islands. Yeah.
Yeah. Islands.
Where have you been? Which ones?
Komodo and Java and a few.
That's all around Bali, isn't it?
It's around Bali. But they're all the same, actually.
Really?
They are not so discovered like
Bali. Sure.
But this pretty much the same.
So you've travelled a bit?
Yeah, I love traveling.
I think that's cool that you enjoy your own company,
Yeah. Sometimes, of course, I call my friends and said, please, book a flight to London. I'm bored. I need somebody who speaks Russian. So she decided to spend 3 weeks with me, and that's really nice. And but it's okay. say for me, I draw, I walk.
Yeah. What's your little town like in Russia?
Huh?
What's your little town like in Russia?
It's not very little. It's 1.2 million people there. It's city, and it's one of the biggest cities.
What's it called?
It's near Black Sea, and actually Moscow. In London, it's about 5 million people. Yes.
London? No.
4 or 5? No.
What, London?
Yes.
No, 12.
12?
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe even more, but 12.
Ah.
Yeah. Like Moscow.
Moscow is 15.
Yeah, I know.
And it's,
mental.
and it's not the the last. Maybe 16, 17 or much more because
all your friends want to go. That's
yeah, all the girls are dreaming from all over the Russia.
I just don't get it. Okay.
Yeah. So, and there was a song like very popular song, and the singer said that nobody will like if whole country will move to your city. So it was like he was singing these words, but nobody will like if all Russia will move to your one city. And yeah, so it's awful. It's lots of strangers. What do you think about traffic in Moscow?
Oh, I don't know why I just don't know. It boggles my mind. Yeah.
Yes, it's awful. I like to visit it on holidays, and everybody is out of Moscow on their dachas, like in Russian they said. So dacha, it's like it's house far from your city, maybe 50 kilometers or 100. So, and there's you can grow plant there. You have
like a little holiday place.
Yeah, so holiday place is called dacha.
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 I know Zashabis.
Huh?
Zashabis.
Great. It's slang.
Yeah. Хорошо.
Nice. You have a good Russian.
Zashabis.
You have a good start, really. So, what are you going to do? Come back to work?
Yeah, in 5 minutes, as soon as I finish this.
Yeah.
But
Till what time you're working? Actually, I have maybe 20 minutes till the end, no?
What do you mean?
Usually everybody's working until 6, no?
That's if you have a normal office job.
Okay.
Yeah, I do my own editing and stuff, so I'm kind of stuck behind the. It's kind of on my own watch, you know.
Okay.
Some days I'm like, oh, I'm not going to work today. Some days I'm like, okay, I'm going to do everything today. It depends on my mood.
Yeah, I understand.
Like you and clothes. It's how I wake up in the morning.
Yes.
Okay, what's really important here is the fact that she asks me about myself a little bit, and it's, you know, you always got to keep to this 90%, 10% rule, where 90% of the time you're talking about her and 10% is about you, and you sort of like give them bits and pieces every now and again. And so here, you know, I bring it straight back to her in quite an amusing way. It's quite a nice teasing way, and it's a bit of callback humor as well, which is always a sign of someone who's on point, you know.
It's clever because you're not changing the topic and saying, anyway, tell me about Moscow. It's the same topic but from her angle.
Yes, exactly.
So she doesn't even notice the switch.
Yeah.
And then she carries on talking.
Yeah. And another thing here is, you know, you were saying, Tom, about the fact that on dates you used to be completely different. Yeah.
This in field of an instant date, you might watch it and think, well, you guys haven't been talking for 10 minutes, you haven't commentated. But that's just what Yad and I were saying. This is proof of how little you need to do. Okay, only if attraction's been done, which we know it has. She's attracted. So before I met Yad, and I would go on a date, because I had read that I had to be attractive, I thought the way to do that was to tell lots of stories, make her laugh. I would have been talking for 90% of that. And then Yad told me a story about once you were tired, I think you had been somewhere, and you just happened to notice that by doing less, she started doing more.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I was on a double date with John Matrix, and he did exactly the same, leaning back, keeping kind of a straight face.
Exactly.
She does more, and then she leaves the date thinking, wow, this guy, I feel so connected to this guy.
Exactly, but she's done all the work.
She's done all the work. It's a psychologist's mentality. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, creative. Like I can draw. I can draw if I have a bad mood or I have a headache. Or I can create anything. So if I have a good mood, so I can draw. I can spend one day.
Tell me a bit about your paint. Like, do you do watercolors or
different styles?
Yeah.
It's like first you have like sketches and it's rubbish, but you just to remember your ideas. What did you imagine this morning? And after that, you in the final you have to do like fashion illustration, and you can use anything: digital illustration, collage, watercolors, gouache, acrylic, anything, oil painting, anything you want.
And what do you do? Landscapes, portraits, or
no? Fashion is close.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind.
Yeah, of course it's just.
It's very okay.
Yeah, it's just
sketches, like yeah.
Sketches, and then in the final you have to do it properly. It's not like sketches, like a painting.
Did you go to any London fashion shows recently?
No, I've been in Moscow, but Moscow Fashion Week is quite different from all over the world.
Why?
Maybe it's not so popular actually, but
that's strange actually.
It was really easy to get in, very easy. I don't know about how I can get into London fashion shows. You must have some friends, or I don't know. If
I met you last week, I would have invited you to some. Yeah, I went to a few.
You're working in industry, or
no, I have friends who do photographers and stuff. But some of it, I had tickets and I was like, I can't be bothered, but I could have given it to you. You know?
That's really great. So maybe next year I can.
Yeah, sure,
if you're studying in St. Martin's, of course, I think you can still, because they are doing their own shows. There was
I'd imagine,
there is St. Martin's maybe day 5 or day 6. There was St. Martin's fashion show. All people who is graduating this year, they show a few items from their collection, a few dresses or each. It was about 18 or 12 people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So and.
Were you involved or?
No, I'm just taking courses to prepare to bachelor.
I get it.
I have a diploma in interior design, but still, for me better to do bachelor.
Okay, so you're gonna start next year, or like in September?
In September. So if I would accept it. 3,500 people for 160 places. So it's a huge amount. I don't know.
So you're like developing a portfolio?
Yeah. So I must draw, I must prepare it. Actually, I don't like to draw. I have to do this, but I like sew by my hands. So I sew several dresses and by my own hands, and I was fond of them. It was free that I adore actually. It was corset and silk and lace, and so I love this stuff. It's very feminine.
Yeah, you need to put on a show.
Maybe a few years. It's just about the money. I think it's not so hard.
Can you do that? If you had enough money, you can just...
If I will work for a few months, I think I can do it. But it's a lot of work. Lots. I don't know how people can have their family or boyfriends or girlfriends, I don't know, whatever. It took all of you. You can't have anything except your dresses or your ideas in your mind. So you can have time for love or relationship, or you can't have any. You have to decide it's a relationship on this, because I can separate this thing. I can have them together. You have only one brain, so it's quite hard. I don't know.
You sound very serious.
No, it's really hard.
But you have to be that serious, you know.
I have a very big dream. I want to change the world.
That's cool. I like people with dreams and passions. And
yeah, so if you are dreaming about buying, I don't know, a pair of shoes for 100 pounds, you will buy this pair of shoes in a few years. But if you're dreaming about, I don't know, 7 billion pounds company all over the world, so if you do 10% of this, it's really cool.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. So I'm dreaming about.
Listen, let me get your number and we'll sort of finish things up soon.
Okay. And I can go shopping.
Yes. Ah, I can show you a nice place you'd like.
Yeah? Okay.
I don't think you would have seen this place.
07.
07.
I want to ask your name.
Yes, that's
very
true.
rude.
Before, like, yeah. I'm Jan.
Jan.
Jan. Okay. 07. Yeah, I ramp it up a little bit here with the close intensity eye contact, and I just flirt with her a little bit. It's all in the eyes though, and it sort of just solidifies the fact, because I've been sort of just letting her express herself for quite a bit of time, and it's nice to just ramp it up again, just to give it a spike again. Nothing too crazy. I mean, one thing about eye contact, actually, you don't want to be too like, see, that's not good eye contact. Eye contact has to be really soft, and the way you're sort of reading her soul through her eyes. I can't explain it too much. It's
kind of smiling through the eyes. It's
yeah.
Like they're shiny.
I'm not talking like stare into there. That's really bad. That you couldn't have a weirder vibe than that. But yeah, it's just again the name thing. I go with different names that are close to Yad, but I can't quite say Yad just because it is a bit weird with my name. Yeah.
Technical point. Some of you might be thinking, which is what I asked Yad earlier, because I knew Yad back in the day when Yad would have walked straight back to his house, because he lives about 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
But there is a reason why you are on a day's schedule of filming.
Yeah, yeah. And also is that she's a Russian. You know, with Russian girls, I have to say, a lot of my bounce backs have been with Western European women. So German, Swedish, yeah, definitely. They're much more sexually liberal. With Eastern European women, sex tends to be this bit of a hangover.
Yeah.
They have about it. So
they like to be dated and you know.
Yeah. But also, I think the main reason was I mean, there will be a bounce back. You know, definitely in the future. But here, I think we were on a filming schedule out with a cameraman, and this was like, yeah.
Text or
Are you ready to go?
Oh?
Are you ready to go?
Yes.
I don't have any reception. I'll call you when we're outside. So yeah, what a beautiful set. Just shows what can happen at a flash, all in a good day's work, you know.
Good work, mate.
Yeah,
literally.
Lovely.
That was, if you've seen the free clip, hopefully, yeah, did the Latvia, and then straight after he's been on an instant date with that very hot Russian.
My hawk eyes were on full display there.
And your vibe was in full flow.
Beautiful.
I would say less is more. Thanks, Yad, for another infield analysis.
Cheers, baby. Reporting from daygame.com HQ. Yours truly.